Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on Little's Law YouTube channel. So, as part of the Terraform training series, today I will show you some of the Terraform init commands. So, Terraform init is used to initialize a working directory containing the Terraform configuration files. And today we will see some of the common and useful options and commands that we can use with Terraform init. And here I have the main.terraform init where I'm going to create or I'm going to deploy a Docker container, which is an Nginx Docker container. So let's go to the video. So the very first command which I'm going to try now is terraform init backend minus config equals my backend.config. So this command or this option is used to specify a backend configuration file. So for example, the backend configuration file may contain settings for a specific backend such as AWS S3 or Azure Storage or HashiCorp console. So using this option allows us to provide backend configuration without being prompted interactively. So the command again is terraform init minus backend minus config equals my backend.config. So the next command is terraform init minus input or hyphen input equal to false. So when set to false, Terraform will not ask for input for variables if not directly set, and this is useful in non-interactive environments or when we want to run Terraform in automation scripts without user input. We can use this command, which is terraform init minus input equal to false. So again, let me reiterate. So this terraform, so when we are setting this to false, when we are setting the input equal to false, so here you can see terraform init input equal to false. So when we set this to false, terraform will not ask for input for variables if not directly set, and this command is useful in non-interactive environments or when we want to run the terraform in automation script without user input. And now the next command is terraform init minus space minus log equal to true. So what this command do? So this option enables or disables the state file locking during state operations. So state locking is an important in a collaborative environment to prevent concurrent modifications to the Terraform state, and that's why we use terraform init minus lock equal to true. So when we initiate through this command, as I told you earlier, we can either enable or we can disable the state file locking during state operations. And now let's move on to the next command, which is terraform init space minus get minus plugins equal to true. So this command will force the automatic installation of plugins if set to true. So Terraform uses plugins to interact with different providers like AWS or Azure or HashiCorp. So setting this option to true ensures that Terraform will download and install the necessary plugins during initialization. So let's see what does it do. So here you can see it tries to get the plugins from the providers. And now let's move on to the next command, which is the terraform init minus upgrade or hyphen upgrade equal to true. So using this flag to automatically upgrade the modules and plugins to newer versions if available, and this is useful when we want to ensure that we are using the latest version of modules and plugins. So let's try this. So this again, as I said earlier, so this will upgrade the modules and plugins to the newer versions if available. And next command is again Terraform init minus verify minus plugins equal to true, and this will verify the plugin signature during initialization, and this provides an additional layer of security by ensuring that the plugins have not been tampered with, and that's why we use the Terraform verify plugins. And now let's move to the next command, which is the reconfigure. So it's again the same thing. So Terraform init minus reconfigure. So what does this do? So this flag, this minus reconfigure flag, is used to force reconfiguration of already initialized providers. So it's helpful when we make any changes to our configuration that require any reinitialization of providers, and that's where we use the minus reconfigure. So let's try this. I'm going to try this Terraform init minus reconfigure, and here, as I told you, it will, or this is used to force reconfiguration of already initialized providers. And now let's move to the next command, which is the Terraform init minus backend equal to false. When set to false, when we set the backend equal to false, the initialization process won't configure the backend, and this is useful when we want to work with Terraform locally without configuring a remote backend. And these options provides flexibility and control over the initialization process based on our specific requirements and use cases. So in case if you want to understand more about any of the Terraform init commands, please do comment in the comment section. And don't forget to like, subscribe to our channel. So until I meet you in another interesting video, it's bye bye from Vasan Shanmugam and Little Slav.